Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Hello?
Today, we're looking into the Seo Jung case from South Korea using the fascinating sources you sent us. It's quite a story. Starts with a husband searching for his missing wife, but, well, it ends up with some really shocking revelations.
Yeah, it really challenges how we think about truth, responsibility, all of it.
Right. So our mission today is to kind of sift through these conflicting accounts, the evidence you've provided, and really try to understand what happened.
It's a really profound case, I think. You see how public perception can just flip, when new facts come out.
Totally.
And it makes you ask some tough questions about blame, about truth, and, well, what we expect from people in a crisis.
Absolutely, because looking at it initially, it just seems like, okay, a disappearance. But then it spirals, doesn't it?
It really does.
That's one of the first things that really jumps out to you here about the complexity.
For me, it's that stark contrast. You have this initial tragedy, right? But then these really disturbing details start creeping in. It just sets the stage immediately. It tells you nothing's quite what it seems.
Okay, let's unpack this then. So the story kicks off August 16th, 2019. Mr. Kim is waiting for his wife, Seo Jung.
Right.
They're married, they have kids. Evening comes, she's not home. He calls her. Get this, 31 times. No answer.
Wow. 31 times. You can just feel the anxiety building, can't you?
Okay.
Especially with kids waiting.
Exactly. Just an awful, agonizing night. Every minute probably felt like an hour.
And then the next morning, August 17th, the phone rings.
Yeah. But it's not her. It's the hospital ER. A staff member asking, "Are you Mr. Seo Jung's husband?"
Oh, that call. Just dread.
And then the news. The worst news. His wife was brought in early that morning, passed away before she even arrived.
Devastating.
The records say he was just in complete shock. Couldn't really speak. He rushes to the hospital, and yes, it's her.
That moment of confirmation, just unimaginable.
So the hospital does an autopsy, and the findings, well, they're kind of confusing at first glance. No illegal drugs. Just some minor bruises, nothing major, no sign of a struggle, no big injuries suggesting violence.
Right.
Official cause of death, cerebral hemorrhage, bleeding in the brain, possibly from sudden high blood pressure.
And that's key, isn't it? Possibly? Because while high blood pressure can cause it...
That's not the only thing.
Exactly. It could be infections, tumors, maybe weak blood vessels, bleeding disorders. Lots of possibilities.
Which makes it tricky. Doesn't point clearly to anything external, right?
Not initially, no. Makes the legal path forward less obvious.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Mr. Kim, the husband, he finds this cause of death really suspicious. Improbable, even.
Understandably.
He insists, look, my wife, she was only 44, healthy, no chronic issues, definitely no history of high blood pressure.
Right.
So he's not just grieving, he's demanding answers. Who brought her in? And where exactly was she found?
And that push from the family is so often crucial, isn't it? They know the person, the history. Their skepticism forces investigators to dig deeper than maybe the initial report suggested.
So the investigation quickly finds this key piece. The person who brought Seo Jung to the hospital, it was her boss, Mr. Joe.
Her boss.
Yeah. They worked together, same company, for over 10 years. Long time.
Okay, that immediately raises eyebrows, doesn't it? Why the boss in that kind of situation?
Exactly. What were the circumstances? What kind of relationship leads to him being the one there? And then police find another strange detail from the hospital team. When she arrived, black shirt, jeans,
Yeah.
but no underwear.
No underwear.
None. And later, her underwear is found. It's in a plastic bag, tucked inside her purse, which was in her own car.
Okay, wait.
'Cause
That's bizarre. That detail alone, in the context of a sudden death, that's a major red flag.
huge red flag. So police question Mr. Joe. What's his story?
His first story, yeah.
He claims, morning of the 17th, around 6:15 a.m. He calls her for work, no answer. He gets worried, goes down to the parking lot, finds her car. He says he walks up, looks in, and sees her unconscious. On the backseat floor.
On the floor.
On the floor. That's when he says he called for help.
So he positions himself as just the concerned colleague who found her.
Pretty much.
But, these initial stories, they rarely hold up under scrutiny, do they?
Especially not in 2019 South Korea, with CCTV everywhere.
Right, with cameras.
Police check the footage. And what they find doesn't just contradict him. It completely demolishes his story, changes everything.
Yeah, the CCTV footage just blows his account apart. It shows he didn't just find her in the car that morning.
No.
Instead, the night before, the night she went missing, she's seen entering his apartment building.
Boom. Game changer. The focus shifts entirely.
Completely.
So they confront him with this. Irrefutable proof. He has to change his story.
So version 2.
Version 2. Now he claims, okay, that night they had work stuff to talk about. Went to dinner, had some wine, then continued the chat at his place.
Convenient.
Then he says, on the way back to her car, she needed the bathroom. His place was nearby, so they stopped there.
Yeah, okay.
But the CCTV from inside his building tells more. She enters around 10 p.m. Then, 4 hours later, it's chilling. Around 2 a.m.
What does it show?
It shows Mr. Joe carrying, or really dragging, an unconscious Seo Jung down the hallway. Towards the elevator.
Dragging her.
Yeah. He keeps checking on her in the elevator. Then the doors open. He tries to pull her out, stumbles, actually falls on top of her, then gets up and keeps dragging her out of view.
Wow. Okay, that footage, that paints a completely different picture. It looks less like helping someone and more like moving someone who can't move themselves.
Exactly. It raises immediate questions about those 4 hours inside his apartment. What happened?
Right. That's the missing piece.
Then there's more CCTV, parking lot. It shows Mr. Joe driving her car, parking near the exit.
Okay.
Then he physically lifts her from the passenger seat and puts her in the footwell of the back seat.
Well, not just laying her on the seat?
No, the floor space. Incredibly awkward, undignified. Then he drives off. But then, weirdly, he reverses the car briefly after leaving.
Reverses? Why?
People speculating it might have been to use the car's movement to kind of wedge her more securely in that footwell.
Yeah.
Maybe stop her moving. Or just hide her better. That detail, putting her on the floor, that feels incredibly suspicious, like you're trying to hide someone, not help them.
It really does.
After leaving the apartment, he drives to his office. And it's only then, at his office, that he finally calls for help.
Too late, though.
Way too late. She had already passed from the hemorrhage by then.
And what about his behavior after the call? You mentioned CCTV back at his apartment.
Yeah, this is also telling. He goes back to his apartment building. The camera catches him looking extremely agitated.
Yeah.
Worried. Leaning on the elevator wall, shaking, looks like he's crying.
So, distress. But distress about what? Her death or getting caught?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It really is.
So police confront him again. Now they have the dragging footage, the car footage. He has to give another story.
Version 3, let's hear it.
Okay, now he claims after she went into his bathroom, she was in there like an hour. He got worried, thought maybe she passed out from the wine.
An hour is a long time.
Right. He says he knocked, then cracked the door open about an inch. Says he saw her leaning against the toilet, vomiting. Claims she told him she was okay.
Through a 1-inch crack, seeing the toilet, that seems difficult.
Very difficult.
Right.
Especially if the toilet's behind the door, which it often is.
Yeah.
He says he waited longer, then decided he couldn't wait anymore. His wife was waiting in Seoul. So he opened the door again.
And this time?
This time he claims she was naked, vomited all over the floor. And he says he removed her underwear, because it was soiled, to wash it for her.
Wait, he removed her underwear to wash it for a colleague?
That's his claim.
That feels incredibly off, unusual, inappropriate even.
Totally. He insists he just thought she was passed out drunk, didn't realize it was serious.
But all these inconsistencies, the timeline, the door crack, the underwear, it just doesn't add up, does it?
Not really. And because of all this, the shifting stories, the CCTV, police arrest him. Initial charge: criminal negligence leading to death.
Negligence. Because he waited too long to get help.
Exactly. The idea being, if he'd called sooner, maybe she could have been saved.
That charge itself must have caused a stir.
Oh yeah. Huge debate in South Korea. Can you arrest someone just for being slow to help?
Yeah.
Especially if they did call eventually.
It's that whole duty to rescue question again.
Right. And interestingly, when he first went to court, public opinion was actually kind of sympathetic towards him.
Really? Despite the initial details?
Yeah, maybe focusing on the negligence charge being unusual.
It shows how complex these situations are legally and ethically. Many places don't legally require you to help a stranger. It's seen as moral, not criminal.
Exactly.
So in court, what did he stick with?
He stuck to his story, version 3 mostly, that he didn't think she was dead, carried her to the living room, cleaned the bathroom.
And the snoring.
Yes, he doubled down on hearing her snore. Said that's what convinced him she was just drunk, sleeping it off.
And the defense brought in medical experts on that.
They did. Doctors confirmed, yes, someone with a cerebral hemorrhage can make snoring sounds, airway obstruction.
Okay, that adds a layer of complexity for the defense, doesn't it? It gives a sort of plausible deniability to his claim about believing she was alive.
A plausible, if maybe thin, explanation. But it's something the court has to consider against all the other stuff.
Which the prosecution clearly didn't buy.
Not at all. They kept digging, and they found evidence suggesting a much deeper relationship. An affair, basically.
How did they find that?
More CCTV. Older footage, showing Seo Jung visiting his apartment before. But get this. She always used the fire escape stairs.
All 19 flights. Instead of the elevator with cameras.
Of all 19 flights, every time.
Wow. That screams secrecy, doesn't it? Trying desperately to avoid leaving any record of being there.
Completely undermines his claim it was just a one-off work thing, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it also contradicts his claim she'd never been there before.
Good point. He said she went straight to the bathroom. How'd she know where it was if she'd never visited?
Exactly. Implies she knew the layout.
Plus, the prosecution hammered the difference between his words and actions. Fresh air. No. Footage shows dragging. Putting her in the footwell. Doesn't look like aid.
Right. And the digital evidence, the phone.
Oh yeah, that was damning too. Her last chat with her daughter, 10:28 p.m., Mrs. later calls. But then, 10:57 p.m., her phone is active again.
Acted how?
Like being used.
Yeah.
2 minutes after she supposedly went into the bathroom and wasn't reachable, who was using it? And even more, Mr. Joe calls his own wife at midnight, tells her he can't come home that night.
Yeah.
Suggests something serious is happening.
Right, when he claims Seo Jung is just drunk in his bathroom.
Exactly. Then, 12:33 a.m., her phone starts tracking steps. It's being carried around, presumably by him, until almost 2 a.m.
While he claims she's unconscious in the bathroom, that just doesn't line up at all.
Not even close. The phone timeline completely contradicts his story of her being passed out in one spot.
It really suggests he was moving around with her phone while she was incapacitated.
Then, 5 a.m., he gets to his office. CCTV catches him using his phone, takes a picture of something, then immediately deletes it.
Deletes it? Why take it, then delete it? What was it a picture of?
We don't know.
Yeah.
That it's suspicious. And then he drives her to the hospital himself, doesn't call an ambulance to the office.
Strange choice. And didn't you mention his backpack?
Yeah, back at his apartment later, around 6 a.m., his backpack, which looked full earlier, now looks kind of empty, deflated.
Raising the question of whether he got rid of something. Evidence. Clothes.
Exactly. Why pack or empty a bag if you're in a rush to save someone's life? It all looks planned, or at least like covering tracks.
So you have all this circumstantial evidence, shifting stories, suspicious actions on CCTV, the phone data, the secret visits.
A mountain of it. But the court makes its decision.
And?
Not guilty. On both murder and criminal negligence.
Not guilty after all that.
Not guilty. The judges basically said, look, his actions were weird, suspicious, yes, but not enough to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he committed a crime.
Because the cause of death was internal. No direct proof he caused the hemorrhage.
Exactly. No signs of foul play on the body itself. So they leaned on that legal principle. Better to let the guilty go free than convict the innocent.
Wow. That highlights the gap between strong suspicion and legal proof, doesn't it? Especially with ambiguous medical evidence.
It really does. Intent and causation are hard to prove without that direct link.
So legally, he walks free.
Legally, yes.
Oh.
But socially, very different story.
I can imagine public opinion shifted.
Dramatically. Once all the details came out, the CCTV, the lies people turned on him. Hard. The sympathy vanished.
People felt he got away with it, believed he was involved, had an affair.
Overwhelmingly, the court of public opinion delivered a guilty verdict.
And that had real consequences for him.
Devastating ones. He faced huge public condemnation, lost his job, his reputation was destroyed. Eventually, he attempted suicide, jumped from a building.
Oh my God, did he?
He survived, but with serious injuries.
Yeah.
Left a note, apparently, expressing deep regret to his family for the pain he'd caused.
Just shows the immense power of that social judgment, even without a legal conviction.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Mr. Kim, the husband, he's still fighting.
For justice for his wife.
Yeah. He said publicly he doesn't even care anymore if she had an affair. He just wants to know why Mr. Joe didn't help her sooner.
He blames the delay.
He firmly believes if Joe hadn't been so focused on himself, on covering things up, his wife might still be alive. He's lost his wife, the mother of his kids. The grief is immense.
And it all circles back to that debate about the duty to help, doesn't it?
It really does. As you said, South Korea, like many places, doesn't criminalize not helping. it's seen as maybe morally wrong, but not illegal.
Right, whereas some European countries, Germany, France, others, they do have laws, fines, even prison for not offering aid or at least calling for help.
But even those laws are tricky, right? You mentioned that case where someone tried to help, made things worse, and got sued.
Exactly. It's a difficult balance, encouraging people to step up versus protecting them if they try and fail or even cause more harm accidentally.
So in Mr. Joe's case, the lack of such a law in South Korea, plus the ambiguity of the medical cause, that likely sealed the legal outcome.
Probably. No proven direct causation and no legal framework to punish the failure to act promptly, even if his actions were morally reprehensible to many. Suspicion isn't proof in court.
So where does that leave us, this case? It's full of unresolved questions, isn't it? A real sense of ambiguity.
Absolutely. Was he just caught in a terrible, tragic coincidence, a natural death that happened at the worst possible time and place for him?
Or was there something darker, something the court just couldn't legally prove? The public is still torn.
It really forces you to think about that gap between legal truth and what feels like the truth and the suffering that gap can cause.
Yeah.
And it's a stark reminder of how people react under pressure, panic, guilt, the instinct to conceal. It's complex.
It leaves us with a really provocative thought, I think. In this age of instant information, where public opinion is so powerful it can feel like a sentence itself, how do we balance that with legal justice? And maybe more personally, what responsibility do we owe each other when someone's life is literally in our hands, even for a moment?
It's a profound question. This case forces us to look at our own moral compass, how messy things get when relationships and tragedy collide, and how the justice system tries, sometimes imperfectly, to navigate it all.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the Seo Jung case. It's certainly given us a lot to think about.
It really has.
If you found this discussion thought-provoking, please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. That way you won't miss our next exploration into these fascinating, sometimes unsettling corners of human knowledge.
Until next time.
Until next time, stay curious and take care of yourselves.